Greetings gastronauts, this is KeefCooks, I'm Keef, and today we're going to do a festive but vegetarian Christmas dinner. So yeah, festive Christmas dinner, how about that? I'm going to do root vegetable, quinoa and cheddar nut roasts with red onion marmalade. Core! So yeah, nut roast is probably a cliche as a thing that a vegetarian might want for Christmas dinner, but nevertheless, that's what we're doing. We were in Aldi a couple of weeks ago and Mrs. KeefCooks spotted this, so I got one just to see, because I've never actually had a nut roast and wondered what the appeal was. Anyway, it was quite nice. It didn't look an awful lot like the picture, but yeah, so I'm going to kind of reverse engineer this recipe. It looks quite straightforward, so let's do it. So ingredients for the nut roast: I've got 75 grams of chopped mixed nuts, about 75 grams, half a cup of white quinoa, a small onion, a parsnip, a bit of celery, a carrot, 2 eggs, 75 grams of cheese, cheddar, and a knob of butter. And also I've got some red onion marmalade. This is my homemade red onion marmalade, which is absolutely wonderful, and I'll show you how to make it one day. So I've actually got some dollops of that freezing in the freezer in ice cube trays, so that we can put them into the bake and they'll thaw as the bake bakes, roasts as it cooks. Anyway, quinoa. This is white quinoa. Who was it at the quinoa marketing board that decided that is how you should pronounce that word? You can't. It's Spanish derived. It's quinoa or something like that. It's not quinoa. Where do you get wa from? No. Anyway, the nuts, any kind of nuts really. These are peanuts and some other things. Yeah, that's it. Let's get on with it. So we need to cook the quinoa, so I'm just going to throw that into the pan with 1.5 cups of water and a pinch of salt, and we'll bring that to the boil and then cover it, turn the heat down and cook it for 20 minutes. While that's happening, we need to sweat these veggies. Peel the parsnip, the carrot, the onion, and they need to be chopped quite fine. Okay, that's all chopped. So I've got the knob of butter melted in this pan, and I'm just going to hurl all the vegetables in, and we'll sweat them for about 10 minutes. So just give them a good stir, get everything coated in the butter, and stick a lid on. 10 minutes. Meanwhile, we have to deal with the butternut squash. I hate these things. They're okay once you've got the goop out, but the skin is so tough. So you don't need to sweat this because it doesn't actually take a lot of cooking. Cut this pretty small as well. Okay, the quinoa is cooked, so just leave that with the lid on for about 10 minutes just to kind of, I don't know, rest. And there's me chopped up butternut squash, and I'll just grate my cheese. Apparently there are people in the world who buy ready grated cheese. How crazy is that? So the root veg have had a good old sweat, and we'll just leave them with the lid off to let them cool down, and also the quinoa. Yeah, quinoa, and there's my cheese. Right, now let's put it all together. So get a bowl, chuck everything in basically. Get the eggs, and the nuts, and a stirry thing. Now you want to get your oven preheating pretty hot, so 210 degrees Celsius if it's a fan convection oven, or 230 if it isn't. Just stir these till it's all nicely mixy, and a pinch of salt, why not? Right, I've prepped some veg which I'm going to roast along with the nut roast thingies. So a couple of slices of the lovely butternut squash, some Brussels sprouts cut in half, and a parsnip cut into bits, peeled and cut into bits. So I'm gonna bake individual nut roasts in these mini quiche tins, which I've buttered inside. So just fill each one with the nut roast mix. Here's my dollops of red onion marmalade out the freezer, not actually frozen. I'll just put your dollop in there, and then a bit more of the nut roast mix on top. So for the roasted veggies, I've had this tray with some rapeseed oil in it in the oven while it was preheating. So just put your vegetables in, get them coated in oil. Mind you don't burn your little fingers. Then a good sprinkling of salt and pepper. And pop those and the nut roasts in the oven for 25 minutes. You might want to turn the veggies over halfway through. Right, taste test time. Rabbit food, babe, rabbit food. You're looking very festive.
Do my best.
I haven't bothered this year.
Oh, what's that? Is that your...
That's red onion marmalade, but there should be a blob inside there.
Oh, okay.
If you look carefully.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there it is. I've just mushed it in.
You have, haven't you? Oh, that's nice. That's it. Splash it on all over. That works for me.
He's bacon.
I have vegetarian leanings, but Keith has none whatsoever. He's making this just for me.
Yeah, you're right. I'm having chips. And beans.
Those famous meat products, yeah.
Yeah.
So what, have you just roasted the squash?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I made gravy.
Oh, because that's what I was thinking it needed. But,
Yeah, sorry. It's like tomato sauce.
yeah, okay. This is not so much a taste test as a meal, isn't it?
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Enjoy.
Thank you, darling.
You're welcome.
And that's that. I hope you enjoyed it. Now please do the usual: likes, shares, comments, subscriptions, donations, patronage, all that good stuff. Or just some of it. And thank you for watching, and see you next time.